What's up, everybody? Clint here. Justin should be joining us here soon. I know that he won't want to miss this. I have an interview today that is going to hopefully really open a lot of eyes on just how timeless proper vocal crafting is. Basically, the brainchild behind the multi-platinum, worldwide phenomenon, Color Me Bad, is right here with me. Mr. Calderon, how we doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh man, thank you for joining. I noticed when I was going through looking at some stuff that I wasn't as familiar with of yours. Your cover of Faith is definitely better than Fred Durst. You've got a lot of range. I didn't even realize it. I was listening to your newer stuff. One of the newer songs there, it sounds like you just fell out of a honky tonk, and it's damn good. I tell you, there's something else that I like. I don't know if it was the production value, in it, or I don't know. That's why I have you here to talk about the writing process. But I feel like you took in some of your newer stuff. There's only 3 songs, dude. Like, you're really killing us. Like, where's the album? Seriously. But you've got it's like you capitalized on what Jordan Knight tried to do with his self-titled album, but didn't quite get there with, and really kind of crafted and made that sound more whole and palatable and less kind of staccatic and anxiety-inducing, and really brought in some smoothness to it. So I'm a big fan of all 3 of those tracks.
Well, thank you. Yeah, man, I had a lot of fun creating all that music. The first song that you're talking about is a song called "It's Like Good Sex," and I was basically just capitalizing on maybe some of the success that I Want to Sex You Up had back in the day, but also kind of giving it like an up-to-date kind of sound. I really like the Latin kind of that you can kind of hear in it. And
a little guitar in the back.
Summer Light. Yeah, got a couple guitars in the back and such. And then also, I've recently done this Cookies and Cream song that has a completely, totally different twist than anything that we've ever done before. So, it has that a country vibe to it, and I had a lot of fun doing that. Something I've never done before, and, I just made the most of it with my buddy Todd Nystrom. We just got together, and we felt like, it's time to do something different. And, why not do a kind of, we have like a country song, but we put like a twist to it, like a 90s hip-hop, vibe.
Yes, absolutely.
Country, with this country thing, and it worked, man. It's crazy how stuff like that happens. But yeah,
absolutely.
It's yeah.
Man, I tell you, it's just cool. It's cool to hear new stuff from you. I really hope that you do more. Like I was saying, Cookies and Cream song is a prime example. Your range, man. Like, God, like, there are a lot of people who have great voices, but kind of stay in their wheelhouse. And, once they get out of a certain octave set or a certain, drawl or twang, they kind of start to sound not as awesome. But, you're pulling it off. It's great.
Well, thanks,
I really
appreciate that.
I wanted to start with that since it's new, but let's go back in time here. Let's go back to Oklahoma. Let's go back to you figuring out that where did you learn to sing? When did it first catch on with you?
I think it was me as a young child in the car with my dad, who loved listening to Frank Sinatra. And I think it started there with and here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Something, something right around there, that era. And I was really young, of course, and my dad told me about the Beatles, and and I started loving. That was my first single I ever bought was "Love Me Do," by the Beatles.
Okay.
then I became a really big fan of Kiss. And I loved
Kiss, you said?
that Kiss did. Yeah, Kiss, the rock band Kiss.
Right. The paint and everything.
And, I
don't hear that in your music at all. That's awesome.
No, you don't. But it's the things that like inspired me. And so, Kiss, the cool thing about Kiss is they used to put out these live albums, like Kiss Comes Alive, and it's an album of their concert live, and that's what they did back in the late 70s, whatever. But they used to put out these albums that had a live version, and you could hear the crowd screaming in the audience, and you turn that record on as a child, and you hear the crowd, and you can just picture yourself being Kiss and singing those songs and pretending that's you up there, and you can hear the crowd behind you, and that's I love music, I love Kiss, I love hearing the crowd, and that's what I wanted. So it kind of started right there, and then slowly as life went on, I got more into the R&B thing. My sister brought home a Sugar Hill Gang album, and Rick James, and I started getting into that. So and then the Jackson 5, which blew me away completely, and then boom,
Jackson
when
5.
I fell in love with R&B.
When you hear I Want You Back and realize how young he is and how much soul is in his voice, it is unbelievable to me.
It's kind of scary, actually. It's actually scary how great he was as a child. It's really unbelievable. It is. You got to watch those videos on YouTube and just be kind of blown away by it. You know what I mean? Really.
Absolutely.
I mean, how is this little kid? How in the hell is this little kid singing like that?
I don't know. Another great example.
Sing like that.
One of my favorite tracks of all time is "I Was Made a Lover" by Stevie Wonder, and when he cut that, he was 15, and there's so much feeling and emotion in that song. And when I figured out that he was 15 years old when he cut that, I was like, that's cool. I'm pretty sure I had like a chili bowl when I was 15, so I mean it's relatable. Right there,
Yeah.
Okay, so in your music, like I got to ask this. All right, so I'm a self-proclaimed musical savant. You can ask anybody who knows me. That doesn't mean I actually am. But when I hear your music, I hear gospel harmonies, I hear barbershop, I hear doo-wop, I hear that like 70s vibrato and unison. I mean, am I inaccurate in that? And if it's true, where did it come from?
No, you're totally right about all that, man. Man, it's kind of one of those things, we all love the R&B. We all love singing that harmony doo-wop style. We love that blues sound, gospel-y feel. We just take little stuff here and there and it's kind of make it one. And, I don't know. I mean, it's nothing we planned out. It just happened. It's like I don't know. How in the hell did the Detroit Pistons back in the 90s beat the Los Angeles Lakers when the Lakers had an all-star team with Gary Payton, the mailman, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille? How in the hell? I don't know. It's chemistry.
And Rasheed Wallace was just that angry. That's all it was.
Rasheed Wallace, right. How in the hell did they beat the Lakers? I don't know, but it's the chemistry that the Pistons had, that beat the Lakers, when it shouldn't have happened that way. But, it's something you don't put together, it just happens. And so I don't know, I can't tell you,
there has to be some construction there.
But
there has to be some construction there. Like, I noticed, like, in a great example, in I Adore Mi Amor, like I was telling you, I deconstructed all of your music this week, like with these apps, because I'm just that cool, like that's what I do. I'm super cool. But like, everybody else is probably out with their friends and I've got like my beats on in like a dark room at 3 a.m. But like, when I pulled them apart, I noticed these little bitty nuances where you don't pull in the full 4-part harmony until you get to the I adore part. Everything up to it like builds slowly. It's like 1 voice, 2 voice, 3 voice with like a little dissonance in it. And then you get to the big explosion. Like, I know that you're behind that. Like, how do you craft this stuff?
Wow.
Hello? You there, Mark? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. All right, cool. I'll edit that out. Don't worry.
Okay.
Like, how do you craft
So,
this stuff?
so, well, you know, I mean, it's something like, I can't, you know, when we were in high school, that's all we did was just sing.
Mm-hmm.
The time of school, time, and even after school, even on the weekends, that's all we did was just sing. We used to, you know, get talent shows and, you know, just try to perform we possibly get to. And but as far as I Adore Me and More goes, you know, it was the song's written. It's funny how that song came about because we met Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis in New York. We were there in New York just trying to get a record deal, and we went up and we sang for Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, hoping that they would, you know, sign us or help us out, you know, try to put a record out. And they basically said, "You guys sound great, but you guys need to come out with a song that's half English and half Spanish." And
Really?
that's kind of what we did. We went back to Oklahoma City, and we got with the guy named Hamza Lee, and we wrote "I Adore Me and More." And so, you know, the dream on, dream away, I think I'm going to have to stay, you know, that whole part. And then into "I Adore Me and More," you know, it's just a build up. You know, that's how we, you know, created that part. It's just a build up, you know. But that was actually our first #1 hit. People don't believe us, but "I Want to Sex You Up" did not go #1 for us.
Yeah,
it was
I
#1 on the R. Yeah, it peaked at #2 for a long time, but it went #1 in the UK. It went #1 everywhere else in the world. It even went #1 on the R&B charts here in the U.S., but it did not go Billboard #1. And but "I Want to Sex You Up" was still to this day here in the States is our biggest song, but around the world, "All for Love" seemed to be the biggest one that everyone really knows around the world.
You know,
which is
that
funny,
song right there, buddy.
You know?
That song right there. So in college, I changed majors, like, I don't know, north of 140 times. And for a while there, I was a film major. And we had, are you there? Okay, cool. We had a music video project, right? We had to shoot a music video. And you're still there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. My music video project, I took "All for Love," and I filmed it all in one take of me walking around Baylor's campus with various people popping out and like bizarre situations happening. And I mean, I love that song. I had no idea how much I loved that song until I pulled the backtrack out of it and just listened to the vocals. I heard that song for the first time with just vocals 2 days ago. I literally sent like my finished product to no less than 100 people, probably. People probably didn't even know what number it was. I was just like, "You got to hear this." It sounds like you wrote the song in a subway tunnel. Like it sounds like you could have been singing it around a fire pit, or at like a high school, like a sock hop. Like to me, what you wrote there, those harmonies, the construction of that song is timeless, brother. Like, how did that come together?
It started with the track that Howie T came up with. A lot of people may not recognize the name, but he was the one that was behind all the, you know, hip hop tracks of like the real Roxanne, Curtis Blow, Playing Basketball, Chub Rock. He did a lot of those old rap hits. But he presented this track to us, and we thought it was right up our alley when we heard it, and we just started writing to it. We were a hip-hop, doo-wop hip-hop group, and we wanted that sound, that harmony sound to come in. And so we brought the doo-wop, and Howie T brought the hip-hop to it. When we came together, it just created that song. We wanted something that had a happy feel to it. The verses, when I came up with the melody for the verses, I completely was thinking, of Prince. I don't know why. I was thinking of Prince. What would Prince do with this track? And so I kind of started going down that Princey vibe, like Kiss or something. And it didn't come out that way, but it came out good, I guess, because it was a big song for us. But
don't undersell that, man.
Yeah, yeah, man.
I've heard that song 300,000 times in my life, dude. Do not undersell that. That would break my heart. Man, but even you talk about the doo-wop vibe in it, like it's there, but the deep voice in the back, like the soul of doo-wop lives so hard in that song, man.
Oh, totally. Because some of the samples were from doo-wop groups, Also, we wrote that song, man. I swear to you, we wrote that song in like 15, 20 minutes. And I think we recorded it within like 2 hours. It wasn't long. I mean, it was just boom, boom, bam, and that was it. It was nothing we sat and thought about. We just laid it down, and it worked,
That song, you said, like a pure happy song. That is, in my life, like a bit of a fanboy here. Like I'm gonna have to get over this, but like, I can't tell you how many times I've just been having the worst day, like the worst week, all that other stuff. And you put that song on and you just want to like hop up, skip around because you've got the little like high, like piano harpsichord type synth that it makes you feel like the ice cream truck's coming. And you've got like these amazing vocals with it. And something that you do really well, like I tell everyone that the best songs are the ones that build momentum throughout, and at the end of it, it's so good that you have to hear it again. And all three of the songs that you've talked about from that album thus far, and we haven't even gotten to like my Heartbreaker, which is, by the way, some of the most impressive harmonies you've ever laid down, and they're kind of muddied up by, but my God, man, I sent it to my dad last night at about midnight. That poor man was probably like, what in the world are you doing? Yeah, it's Color Me Bad, I get it. Because his harmonies, like I finally heard him when it was deconstructed, like you just have a gift, and the momentum building, like your songs, at the end of it, I want to hit repeat. And to me, that's what makes a great song.
Oh, yeah, man. That song, Heartbreaker, see. When did we do that song? I'm trying to think of it. Did we do that with Howie T, I think? I think we did that with Howie T, Heartbreaker. Money taking Yeah. We did that with Howie T. Yeah, no, that was another one with Howie T. He brought the track to us, and it didn't take us long to record that song either. It's funny because when I Want to Sex You Up took off, because, everybody now wants to claim that they're the ones who, got us the song Sex You Up, and, they want all the glory and fame, but that's not it, man. We heard the song I Want to Sex You Up, and we knew that it was us. And when we recorded it, no one had any idea the song was going to be great. But when the song took off, it was immediately the record company said, okay, guys, we need an album in 2 weeks. So that's why everything was just like rush, because we had this big hit that no one knew we had, and they wanted to capitalize on it. So we had to get the product out there. And so we had to hurry up and write like seven more songs.
But some of those other songs are amazing. Like I'm assuming you're talking about like Roll the Dice, Slow Motion, like some of the
Roll the Dice. Yeah, Roll the Dice. was with Nick Monday. Actually, I just spoke to Nick Monday the other day, which was great to hear from him. You know, but yeah, Roll the Dice. You still there? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Roll the Dice is a great song. We did that, and that was one of the songs that we had to hurry up and finish, and because we're like, okay, we need to come out, we need that, you know, and
Roll the Dice has a feel for me.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, you broke up a little there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you. Roll the Dice for me has like and I'm not knocking this man at all, but like the My Prerogative album, I felt like while it was good, was missing something. Like I wouldn't put that, near the top of my list from that time period. And Roll the Dice to me sounds like the perfected version of what should have been on the My Prerogative album.
Oh yeah, sure. No, I mean, it was a great song. Another great song. Nick Monday, he's a great songwriter, and he wrote a lot of great songs. I don't know if you remember that song "Talk to Me" by Chico DeBarge. He wrote that one. He wrote a couple other big hits, But yeah, man, everything it was kind of like something that was just happening, man. And you were just kind of taking the ride, just taking the ride, riding the wave, as they say, and just trying to make the most of it. No one knew that it was going to be a big album that it did. No one knew it was going to sell 12 million copies. No one knew that, we were going to win, an American Music Award and be nominated for 2 Grammys, and no one knew any of that. So, but
also
we were happy
from
that it worked out.
I tore through a bunch of records, brother. Y'all, I believe that you were one of only 2 people, and the other man was on stage with you, to be a Caucasian and win a Soul Train Music Award. I could not find another one. I looked through every award show every year of it. And when you won that, there was a lot of beef that Whitney Houston was too affluent to win a Soul Train Music Award. But y'all came through and delivered a sound in that album. And I want to ask you about this before I get into it. So when I hear that album now, I hear a very healthy mix of both 50s doo-wop and 60s Motown with the freeze, BBD type crunch and vibe, the 808s and such. But, that's what I hear with these, oddly placed but perfectly balanced gospel harmonies, which makes me laugh because I Want to Sex You Up has multiple layers of gospel harmonies in them, especially since I had to hide that CD. But, am I wrong in any of that? Is that kind of what y'all were going for?
We had those elements. We had the gospel elements. You remember that old movie that Ralph Macchio was in called Crossroads? Where he was playing an old blues.
He plays the guitar?
Uh-huh. Right. Uh-huh. Yeah, there's a scene in there, in that movie, where these guys are singing this song called Hush. And it's a very bluesy, old gospel song. And the harmonies are very amazing. And that was one of the things that we did. We learned that song. And we used to, blow people away with that song. Man, we'd win all kind of talent shows, and we would get a lot out of that show. We would be able to go through the McDonald's drive-through with no money, sing the song "Hush" while we're in the drive-through, and get all of our food for free.
That is amazing. Wait. Since you're talking about that, since you're going back to then, tell me how you got Bon Jovi to bite on you.
Oh, Bon Jovi. Okay, well, what happened was, I can't remember what night it was or anything like that, but we knew that Bon Jovi was coming into town. We had no thought of trying to meet those guys because, they were rockers. We weren't rock and rollers. We were we were more R&B and doo-wop style. So, what rockers don't want to have nothing to do with us. But the fellas, Brian and Sam, were over at my house this night. And Kevin, who was working at a movie theater in the mall, he seen that there was these 5 guys that came in with Bon Jovi jackets on. They had long hair and they had on the tour jackets. And Kevin, he was working the tickets at the movie theater, and he called us up. He said, "Hey guys, I think Bon Jovi's here at our movie theater." You're like, "What?" I said, "Man, don't you know what John Bon Jovi looks like, Kevin?" "I don't know what John Bon Jovi looks like. I just see like these 5 guys with long hair walking into the movie theater." I was like, "Okay, man, we're coming up there." So, we
Did
go
they ride
there.
on a steel horse? That's the question.
Well, they all had these hot chicks with them. I tell you that much. They had some beautiful women with them. But John had this beautiful blonde, and as they were walking out of the movie theater, we just caught their attention, and we said, "Hey guys, could we just sing you a song, real quick?" And they were like, "Man, we're tired. Can you give us your demo tape?" And we're headed back to the hotel. "Hey man, we just need like 60 seconds of your time. Is that cool?" "All right, guys, let me hear what you guys got." And that's we're talking there to John, and he was like, "All right, let's hear what you guys have." So we just start singing, and totally just blow John away. They're like, "Whoa, what is this?" And
what did you sing?
We sang "Daddy's Home," Jackson 5, "Daddy's Home," and he was blown away by it. And he was like, "Man, you guys sound amazing. How would you guys like to open up tomorrow night's concert in front of 20,000 people?" And we were like, "Wow!" I was like, "Are you serious?" So.
All right, time out. Before we continue, what's the most amount of people you have played in front of before this moment?
I don't know, a talent show, maybe, I don't know, 150 people.
Amazing. Oh, it's like winning the lottery. All right, go on.
Yeah, like win the lottery. Yeah, exactly. So, John Bon Jovi and John and Richie wanted us to meet him at their hotel that next afternoon. And we went up to the hotel. We were talking to them a little bit. Believe it or not, they wanted to work with us. And they wanted to connect us with Prince. They wanted Prince to write us songs. And, of course, we were like all for that. Okay, yeah, hey, we'll work with Prince.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? Exactly. Why not? Yeah, I guess we'll work with Prince. Sure, why not? But he was like, "All right, guys, tonight you guys are going to open up the show." And it was a Slippery When Wet tour. It was like their biggest tour they ever had. We get there. We're there at the concert. We don't see John or Richie anywhere. But, the lights go out. The crowd goes bananas. Of course, sold out concert. And the local DJ there from Oklahoma City was, on the mic. "You guys, Oklahoma City, are you ready for Bon Jovi?" And of course, people go bananas. The crowd's going crazy. And then, but first, he said, we have a local group from Oklahoma City. So the crowd kind of like, oh, like everybody gets.
Oh, no, it's like you're at the Brazilian steakhouse and you're waiting for the meat to come around and they bring you the rolls. Oh man. Okay, was your name Color Me Bad at that point or no?
No, we were called Take One at that time. That's what we were called. We went by Take One. And so he's like, "Y'all ready for Bon Jovi?" The crowd goes crazy. "But first, we have a local group." And we get up there. We're 4 guys. We don't look like rockers. We come up with our suits on, suit and ties. And there's 2 microphones there for us on stage. We're in front of 20,000 people. 20,000 rockers, and we're in suits. And, like we're going to church.
Were you scared?
Hell yeah, we were scared. Yeah, we were freaking out. But we got up there and we started singing, and everybody loved it. The crowd went crazy, man. The crowd loved everything we sang, and we felt really good. And the last song that we sang, we said goodnight. We waved to the crowd. Thanks for having us, Oklahoma City, local group here. And the lights come on, and then all of a sudden the crowd just goes berserk. They go bananas because John and Richie comes walking up on stage, giving us high fives and hugs. And it's like, wow. It's like, man, the people at school tomorrow is going to, I might get a date this weekend. That's what I was thinking. I might get a date.
I might be able to go see Kevin in the movie theater. Man, that is such a cool story. Like, to go from playing a talent show to in front of Bon Jovi. And, dude, okay, do not undersell the fact that you won over with your doo-wop sound. You won over a poser hard rock group crowd. And I'm not knocking Bon Jovi at all, but that's what their crowd was.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, you won that over, dude. That's crazy. You don't see stuff like that very often.
No, it just shows you, man, regardless of what genre of music you're in or whatever, when something is really legitimate and it's real, the sound is real and it's good, people will accept it. People appreciate great music, great sound, no matter what genre you like or listen to. If it's amazing, then people are going to love it. People are going to appreciate it. And that's what happened that night. So, yeah,
such a cool story. So what happened? What goes from there? All right, you walk off stage. Maybe you get the date the weekend.
We walk off stage. I think I get a date that weekend finally.
Change your name to Marky Mark just for a little bit.
No, but we never heard back from John Bon Jovi after that night until the night of the MTV Music Awards, and he came and had dinner with us actually that night. But the group that really took us under their wings was Kool and the Gang. And Kool and the Gang, they had this campaign that was going on. It's cool to stay in school. That was a campaign that they had, and we actually skipped school to make it to that party. So we actually
irony.
Yeah. We skipped school. Yeah, we skipped school to make it to the "It's Cool to Stay in School" party.
Hilarious.
And that party was for all the kids that had perfect attendance in school. And we ditched school to make it to that party. So,
oh my God, your name that day was Color Me Ironic.
So we skipped school and we got into the party. We got in line to get an autograph. We didn't get an autograph. We just started singing when it was our turn. And then that's whenever we met our manager, Adele Bayan. And basically that's when Kool and the Gang, 2 years later, they brought us to New York and they took us under their wings. And, that's how everything kind of started for us. That's when everything really got going.
And that probably brought in some of that 70s, like I brought up earlier, like how I sense and hear a lot of the vibrato and unison, but in like a 1/7, and that has to come from Kool and the Gang, right? That's got to be some of the influence in that.
We were big Kool and the Gang fans growing up too. We loved Kool and the Gang. That was like, man. I mean, I would go see them in concert every time they would come to Oklahoma. And when the choreography, the showmanship, a lot of that came from New Edition, and we were big fans of New Edition. We went to see their concerts, and we were blown away by their choreography. We loved everything that they did. And now, man, now we do shows with those guys a lot. So it's great to see those guys and, doing shows with our heroes. It's pretty cool.
Oh, man. Can You Stand the Rain is one of my, I know that's probably cliche to say, but that is like one of my favorite songs. Like, I have actually somehow managed to pull off every failed relationship making it our song and them thinking it was unique to them. So, like, props for acting right there. Okay, so you get there, you're with Kool and the Gang, you're moving on. So they're helping you, obviously. is there at any moment on the rise to the top that you like face adversity, or I mean, is it just all up, up, up?
Oh no, man. We faced adversity. You know, every record label in New York turned us down. Everybody. And let me tell you why they turned us down. Because they did not know how to market the group. They saw a white guy, a Hispanic guy, a black guy, an Indian. They saw 4 different different cultures in one group, and they were like, "No wait, how do we market this? We can't market this group." And so a lot of the record labels passed on us, and it was Irvin Azoff, Giant Records, who actually signed us with Cassandra Mills. And you know, that's they gave us a shot. Cassandra loved the sound, and she believed in it, and she liked the look of the group, and you know, she went for it. She signed us, and at that time they were hosting the soundtrack New Jack City. And that's how we got on, you know, with that soundtrack, was because Giant Records was hosting the soundtrack, and they said, "All right, guys, you guys are gonna be on the soundtrack, so we need to find you guys a good song for it." And you know, that's how we found "I Want to Sex You Up."
Color Me Bad and Nino Brown together. That's so,
yeah.
That's so cool, though. I mean, like, to go from where you are to the next thing, you're landing on like a major soundtrack. And a soundtrack, in my opinion, is a very underrated album when done properly. A lot of people just kind of like skirt on them, pass on them, whatever. And I mean, everybody, I guess, ace in the hole is like, well, the Forrest Gump soundtrack. But like The Crow, I don't know if you remember that soundtrack. That made me a rock fan. That thing. So, the New Jack City soundtrack. I mean, that's absolutely correct. Every time I think of that movie, I think of y'all.
Yeah, that was a big time for us, and that "I Want to Sex You Up," like I said, it just took over, man. You know, they had to pull the single out of the stores. They had to pull the single off the shelves because no one was buying the whole album. They were only buying the single "I Want to Sex You Up," and so they took the singles off the shelves.
The cover to cover, CMB, in my opinion, plays better than any of your competition in that era. Like that album, from cover to cover. You know, like Shy or Jodeci. There was a lot of great vocal groups back then, but there was something, y'all caught some magic in there. And it's funny that you said that you wrote like a majority of that album, like, you know, while you were eating lunch. I kind of, I think that breaks my heart. I've spent more time analyzing it than you spent writing it. So, okay, so we hit that. So the next album comes out. Now, y'all move on to the second album, and I actually like the second album a lot. I don't see like lots of people like really bring it up and like talk about it, but a couple of my favorite songs are on that album. Like Wildflower, I love that song, man. I think that's fantastic. And then I don't know if you wrote it or not, but if you did, like, major kudos to Close to Heaven, because that was like my mom's favorite song of y'all.
Yeah, Close to Heaven's an amazing song. That was a song that Brian had started, and he presented it, you know, to the group, and I helped with the bridge. I got my sister to write some of the Spanish lyrics in it. Then, you know, you take a great song like that, and then you add like the greatest producer ever lived, David Foster, and let him produce it. Man, it's just magic. It's just all magic, you know, with that song. That song is huge, like in Southeast Asia. I mean, we'll play that song and people will go bananas, you know. And
what's the contrast between Freeze and him, like as far as working with him in the studio?
David Foster and Freeze?
Hmm.
Oh man, there's a lot. You know, David.
I mean,
Foster
audibly,
like,
yeah.
There's a lot. Dr. Freeze at that time, worked with a lot of samples, and he could program the beats amazingly. Then he would get somebody like a Howie T that would help him with some of the production. Freeze was a great songwriter too, amazing songwriter. And, then you got David Foster, who's written like for Celine Dion and, Earth, Wind and Fire and, St. Elmo's Fire theme and Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You.
Wow.
It's a pretty big difference. but
the depth of the album is a lot. The depth of the album is a lot different too. Like if you're going through a CMB binge, right? Like, and you go from one to the other, it's like moving from House Party to a David Lynch movie. Like, it's so different. And that's kind of what I liked so much about it, especially going through them all again this week, and once again, I come back to you like we talked at the top of this. Just the range, man. Like, I know they get a lot to do with that. Because you can just always hear your voice. I'm sure you realize that. But, like, anybody who knows Color Me Bad, like...
Well, we all had our parts. We all sang our parts, and everybody knew what they had to sing, and everybody knew, what harmony they had. So, and we could take any song and start singing, and everybody would find their part, just like that. It's just, it's like everybody knew their job, and we can do it, man. It's just one of them things that by us being together for such a long time and singing so much, we all knew, the parts to sing. But Time and Chance was a great album. We got with DJ Pooh, who did a lot of the Ice Cube tracks. Time and Chance was an Ice Cube track, and we took it from Ice Cube because we loved the track. He said that he would give us the track only if he could shoot the video. So we let him shoot the video.
So he shot that video.
Huh?
I said I didn't realize he shot that video.
Ice Cube shot that video.
Moving just one album on down there, Tonight, I feel like is the most genuine doo-wop song y'all ever recorded. And it's like I think it's the last song on that album.
Yeah, that's, man, I have not heard that in a long time. I got to be honest. I mean, it might be like, I think the last time I heard that could be like 20 years ago.
Now and Forever is, I would actually say that Now and Forever is massively underrated because, I hear it and to me, like the doo-wop takes over the hip hop in that album. And, I'm going to just tell you real quick, my analogy of everything, my whole outlook on the whole thing. Our true sound was on our very first album. That was our true Color Me Bad sound. And that's why it did so well, because it was real. It was who we are. The second album, Time and Chance, we did, a lot of it was us. A lot of it was the group. But we kind of got away from the hip-hop doo-wop thing a little bit, especially with the singles. The best song to me on that album is Choose on Time and Chance. That was a song that we wrote with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and it's pretty freaking amazing. What's the story of that song, like writing it?
Choose. We wanted to do a song with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and we went to Minneapolis and to Flight Time Studios, and they asked us. We asked them if they had any tracks available that we could write to, and they said, "Well, we got this one throwaway track that, from Janet's last album that no one ever, we never did anything with. You got, try messing with that." You're like, yeah, sure, play it, and that's what it was. It was the track to Choose, and we all went into our different corners and started coming up with different ideas, and we wrote the song like right then and there and laid it down. And that should have been the first single of Time and Chance album, and we would have done much better if we would have came out with that single. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, they told us, you guys need to come out with Choose first. This is y'all's first single. They told us that, and we wanted to sound more, I don't know, more hip hop,
mature,
I guess.
Hip hop.
But no. We wanted to sound more gangsta. You know, that was when Snoop Dogg and Ray was out. And, we wanted to sound more gangsta. But we made a mistake because we made a mistake because we should have kept, you know, who we were. We should have kept the vibe who really made us. And that Choose was us. We wrote that song with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and it was an amazing song. And we goofed. We goofed on it, man. We missed.
Well,
you know?
And
so,
like I'm picking up a trend here, brother. Like, it's not a true Great Color Me Bad song if y'all wrote it in less time than it takes to watch an episode of Saved by the Bell. Like, it seems like everything that you're telling. Yeah, you're right. That's
totally,
93.
Man.
That's right. That's right on the heels of Doggy Style and The Chronic. That is also, I guess, I think an underrated album from that time period because I think that it shaped music. It just took 10 years for it to happen. It's Dangerous because I think that if you listen to NSYNC's Celebrity album, it's the sequel to Dangerous. And so you're coming off all that and you've got all that hardcore hip hop in there. So, I mean, that is a really interesting time in music because you got Seattle blowing up. The fact that you were selling records during the most like eclectic, Wild West, let's invent whatever we can time.
It was,
and
man.
Still,
it was crazy. That time was crazy. That, you know, because you're right. You had the sound of Seattle. You know, the grunge. I guess they called it the grunge sound. They had you know, the Compton, South Central sounds. Then you had us, which was, you know, the doo-wop hip hop sound. You know, and it was like, you know, all three of these different genres, types of music all coming colliding together. Like, you know, you knew what someone listened to. You knew the type of music someone listened to just by the way they dress. You know what I mean? You know, okay, I know what music you listen to. You listen to grunge. You know, you're in those flannel. You're wearing a flannel shirt with, you know, that's oversized. Right. I mean, you know what I mean? Something, you know, you knew everybody's
It's so funny. It's like you buy Pearl Jam 10 at the store and they hand you a flannel with it.
Right. Hold on. Let me pay this toll real quick. I'm driving right. Hi, how you doing? All right. Yeah, I'm paying a toll right now. Thank you. Mm-hmm. All right, sorry.
So at any point during the you're fine, man. I'm probably taking up like your entire day. So during any of this time, like at some point, do you guys ever go back to Oklahoma? Do you ever come back anywhere and kind of like start working in the community some? Like start kind of like giving it back, like helping other people out?
Well, you know, I haven't shared the this other side of the group story with you yet. I only talk to one of the members now, even to this day. There's only one member that I talk to, you know. So I don't really talk to the other guys anymore. You know, we've been in and out of situations. Yeah, no. I mean, we don't. But yeah, let's talk about something else.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Then answer me this. All right, I'll edit that out for you also. Okay, so answer me this. Doo-wop hip hop. All right. What's your favorite doo-wop artist? What are some of your favorite doo-wop songs? Like, what's stuff that we should be listening to? And what's some of your favorite hip hop, man? Like, blend that in for me.
Doo-wop sounds? Oh, man. Oh, gosh. You know, I don't know. You know, some old Temptations. You know, I love some of that. You know, I love Temptations. I like you know, going back to you know,
like Dion
sound. You know, you know, those old songs like you know, Earth Angel, you know, the Imperials, you know, those guys, you know, those the real true doo-wop sound that really caught our attention. And also you had like those guys who sang Who Wrote the Book of Love, these kind of songs. We would learn all of them. We would learn all those songs, and that's how we practice. But like hip hop, I mean, God, I mean, there's so much great hip hop. I'm gonna say this: the true hip hop sound is the sound from the '90s for me. Now I'm good friends with Master G from Sugar Hill Gang. And man, I mean, come on, man, that guy, those guys, they helped start all that stuff. But I'm a big fan of Run DMC. I'm a big fan of the Beastie Boys.
Man, the Beastie Boys, like they must know each other really well. They're always finishing each other's sentences. It's crazy. Like,
really,
one of my favorite hip hop song of all time is from that era. It's from Soul Mischief, 93 Till Infinity. And I know a lot of people that don't even know that song. But that is like my favorite hip hop rap track. 93 Till Infinity? Have you ever heard that? 93 Till Infinity?
How does that I know I have, but how does it go?
It's got the smoothest beat ever. Like, I would never suggest hearing that song without headphones in on a patio and a cool breeze, because it's like got this, it's just this like bass line. It's like boom. I don't even know how to like really do that without embarrassing myself in front of whoever listens to this. My beatbox game's a little bad. Absolutely. It's a Soul Mischief, man. They had I don't even know if they had a run, to be honest with you. I have trouble finding much of any of their stuff. But yeah, Soul Mischief. 93 Till Infinity is the name of the album, and the title track of it is my favorite rap song ever, man. And once again, 93 came out same year that we were just talking about.
I don't know why I don't know that. Yeah.
Dude. Spotify that, man. You will screw.
Yeah, no doubt. Like Tribe Called Quest was one of my favorite rap groups. My gosh.
Did you like Arrested Development?
Run DMC. Arrested Development, yeah, they were cool, man. They were in our era. So they were really great. Really nice vibe. So different stuff, man.
What are you listening to now, man? Like, what's on your app, on your phone? Like, what's on your Spotify list? Like,
oh man, I listen to when I'm driving, man. I'll listen to like Marvin Gaye. I listen to Marvin a lot. I like Marvin Gaye. I like listening to music that kind of can get me going. I love Earth, Wind and Fire. I'm kind of like that era. Like I like, I don't know. I like the new stuff. There's that Doja Cat girl, that Say So. I love that track. That's a great track right there. I don't know, man. I just like listening to a lot of different stuff. I don't know. I don't really listen to the radio a lot. I do like Bruno Mars. I like Taylor Swift. Those are the people kind of today that I like. I do like their music. I appreciate what they're doing, and I think they're very catchy songs and big hits. But like if I'm in my car and I'm just driving, I'm gonna listen to some 70s music, probably some Marvin,
Staple Singers.
I'll listen to some Staple Singers. Stuff like that.
Yeah, 70s. Man. Heck yeah! I love all of. I love.
Like the 70s and early 80s by far is the best music to me. I mean, come on, man. I love the Bee Gees. I love Earth, Wind and Fire. I like Marvin. I like, of course, Michael Jackson in the early 80s, in the late 70s, Off the Wall.
Really?
Album is one of the most amazing albums, Off the Wall. And then I like my rock and roll. I like that. I like the Eagles. I love the Eagles. What else? I like Hendrix. I like all kinds of stuff.
You should take one day I'll send you All Along the Watchtower without Hendrix's voice, and then I will send you Under the Bridge by the Chili Peppers sped up. You see exactly where the
Yeah.
Chili got their sound from. 100% Hendrix, man.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. They're freaking amazing. Yeah, Chili Peppers, unbelievable.
The people you just listed, like some of your favorite groups, it just reminded me. Actually, my two favorite groups for harmonies are both from Oklahoma. Y'all and Hanson. If you haven't seen Hanson in concert in the last 15 or 20 years, it's like going and watching the best cover band you have ever seen in your life. Like, they crush. I'm telling you, like, go Google, like, Hanson, Too Much Heaven. Like, you'll start crying halfway through it.
What? Okay.
I'm dead serious, BADD, they do Cecilia by Simon and Garfunkel. It's better than Simon and Garfunkel's, man.
Really?
Like, their harmony, they never miss, ever. Like, it's so crazy. But it's only a 3-part. It's not as complex. But, you know, they do it well, and both of y'all, like, from a very short distance apart, different time periods, but, like, the same gift. Man, I'm so glad that you agreed to this interview. I wish that I'd had the capability, but I did not, to put some of these tracks in that I was talking about that I disassembled of yours. All you have to do is ask Kevin, by the way. I reached out to him and begged him for your interview. I was like, just give me 2 minutes and I'll convince you. About 58 minutes later, I was still on the phone with him. And, like, I told him, I was like, I am never going to stop until you get me this interview. Like, I'm just not going to. You just need to know that. And, I mean, he was like, well, here's my cell phone number. I bet anything in the, like, 12 days I've known him, I've sent him, like, 100 texts. And, like, some of them have been y'all's songs, like, completely deconstructed, which I know you heard in the studio. So, I mean, there's nothing new under the sun for you on this. But, you know, that's something that I really shared with some people, and I hope I can find a way in post to put that on. I mean, like, I would love to find a tape of y'all doing an a cappella version, you know, from the prime of All for Love. Just because, God, man.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm telling you, thank you so much for coming on.